Good evening, Bahamas. Coming up tonight.
Another civil servant faces bribery and extortion charges here in the magistrate's court.
An outspoken PLP blasts comments made by Dame Joan Sawyer.
Well, illegal dumping has become a nightmare for certain areas of New Providence.
Our news is brought to you by Alive, the nation's newest and best LTE network.
Good to be alive.
Welcome to our news and thanks for joining us. I'm Kyle Joaquin. Topping news tonight, an employee of the National Insurance Board was arraigned in the magistrate's court on bribery and extortion charges today. Giorgio Bain reports.
An employee of the National Insurance Board is brought before the magistrate's court to answer to extortion and bribery charges.
56-year-old Selena Sweeting appeared before Chief Magistrate Joyanne Ferguson Pratt in Court Number 9, where she was charged with 1 count of bribery and extortion. It is alleged that between January 25, 2017 and July 14, 2017, while in New Providence, Sweeting demanded $5,000 from Marvin Sean Ramming. It is also alleged that between January 27th and July 14th, 2017, using her capacity as a public officer, Sweeting did demand $5,000 from Ramming for allegedly assisting him with a transaction at her place of employment. Sweeting pled not guilty to both charges and elected to have her case heard in the magistrate's court. Bail could not be granted in the magistrate's court, and Sweeting was remanded to the Bahamas Department of Corrections. She returns to court on the 1st of November for the beginning of trial. She was represented by attorney Devard Francis. Reporting for our news, I'm Giorgio Bain.
Well, 2 men appeared before Chief Magistrate Joyanne Ferguson Pratt in Court Number 9 to answer to charges of murder and causing grievous harm. 30-year-old Franklin Johnson of Kemp Road, wearing the gray and red shirt, is accused of the August 7th murder of Keno Hepburn. According to reports, Hepburn was involved in an altercation with several other males outside a nightclub on Cowpen Road that led to him being shot. He was pronounced dead on the scene. Johnson was not required to enter a plea. His case will proceed by way of a voluntary bill of indictment. Johnson was represented by attorney Domek Roll, who notified the court that his client is asthmatic and has a pre-existing kidney condition. According to Roll, Johnson also complained that 2 female civilians were allowed to identify him while in police custody at the Wilford Police Station without his knowledge. Johnson and Stephen Robertson, age 36, in the yellow shirt were also charged with causing grievous harm to Keno Hepburn. Both pleaded not guilty and were denied bail. They returned to court on September 13, 2017 for the beginning of trial. Robertson was represented by attorney Kelvin Seymour. Well, leader of opposition business in the Senate, Fred Mitchell, is firing back at former Court of Appeal President Dame Joan Sawyer, who recently accused 2 prominent religious leaders of trying to divide the country. Mitchell says Sawyer is once again spewing utter nonsense in an attempt to remain relevant. Jasmine Brown reports.
While Mitchell defended those clergymen, he insisted it's Sawyer who needs to be ignored.
She's out of step with the times and therefore not relevant, and simply, I think, you just need to ignore her opinion.
Last week, Sawyer said retired Archbishop Drexel Gomez and senior pastor of Mount Tabor Baptist Church, Bishop Neil Ellis, needed to shut up and stay within their bounds. Gomez and Ellis have said they believe former PLP cabinet minister Shane Gibson was treated inhumanely when he was escorted into court earlier this month to face bribery and extortion charges without crutches despite an obvious leg injury. Mitchell says Sawyer's comments were uncalled for and not befitting of someone who once held such a high post in the judiciary.
If you look at the law, which she's supposed to be a lawyer, and lawyers are supposed to be rational and evidence-based, these are 2 distinguished pastors who simply spoke up for humanity and spoke up for, in a pastoral sense, for the nation and for the individuals who were affected by this.
He adds that given Sawyer's track record, he's not exactly surprised by her comments.
Leader of the opposition, in his statement to the nation, said that the Privy Council has ruled on the question of people being taken to court in handcuffs and shackles, and it has deplored the practice. So if you are a lawyer, and you certainly headed the Court of Appeal, you should know. If you look at her record, of course, you won't be surprised because the Privy Council overturned her many times. I've said in a kind of a funny sense, overturned more times than the dogs overturned my garbage can.
Mitchell calls Sawyer's comments a reflection of the mantra being pushed by the F&M, as he insists he nor the PLP will remain silent when it comes to speaking up on behalf of Bahamians. Reporting for our News, I'm Jasmine Brown.
Thanks, Jasmine. Well, Bahamas Public Service Union President John Pinder has taken issue with the latest unemployment figures released just last week. Pinder questioned the method used to conduct the labor force survey and asserted it is not a true reflection of the country's labor force.
To suggest to me that the unemployment rate has dropped, that's a hard sell to me.
Pinder said it just doesn't add up. The unemployment stats released on Friday showed that the country's unemployment rate decreased by 1.7%, with an increase of 7,770 employed people to the labor force. The survey, which was conducted between April 24th and 30th, covers 3,500 homes across New Providence and some family islands. But it's the method used to conduct the survey that the union leader isn't comfortable with.
These persons were hired just prior to the general elections that decreased the unemployment rate. And so it gives a false report on the unemployment rate. We are looking for persons who have sustainable jobs, who can make sustainable income. We are looking for new streams of revenue in the economy.
Acting Director in the Department of Statistics, Leona Wilson, said the department considers anyone who exchanged some sort of labor for payment, even if only for an hour. But the union president says that will never produce an accurate picture of the labor force, asserting that many of the people surveyed back in April probably aren't employed now.
I certainly know it's very difficult to tell me that the unemployment rate in Grand Bahama 12.5%. Are you kidding me? I visit Grand Bahama twice a month. I can tell you those figures can't be true. I guess persons in Grand Bahama have given up on trying to find employment. Grand Bahama is a ghost town. The only thing that kept those persons employed, and unfortunately, for political reasons, was urban renewal. Urban renewal had quite a number of persons hanging around with nothing to do.
The method of conducting these unemployment figures have long been an issue, from the time period reference to the amount of homes surveyed. Pinder said at the end of the day, the problem rests squarely at the feet of the government.
Meanwhile, the unemployment rate is increasing because you let those persons back into the, put them back on the unemployment lists. You see what I'm saying? So the government has a catch-20. They have to find new streams of revenue. They have to be the pace setters to create new industries.
In other news, residents of one community are fed up after enduring years of illegal dumping in that area. April Sands tells us more.
Well, residents are outraged, and with obvious reason. It's a dead-end corner through the Jones Heights area that has become a dumping ground for mattresses, fridges, TVs, and even cars.
I've never seen garbage filthy like this around this neighborhood like this in all my lifetime. It seems like if every time somebody comes and clean up the mess, the mess starts all over again. It's about time just get cleaned up, because we'll soon be having a second Har Road dump site.
After living in the Jones Heights area for over 40 years, this resident says she finds it disturbing that people would continue to dump their household appliances on the side of the road.
This is our country we live in. This is the Bahamas. So if you keep on doing garbage like this over and over and over, we're making our country more filthy than what we are. It's a terrible mess. We are defeating the purpose of living our own Bahamas. We are Bahamians. We all live here. So in order to keep the environment clean, we have to know where to put our garbage. There's a dump site at Howard Road, dump your garbage there.
And this isn't the only community experiencing this problem. This road in West Ridge was littered with dump appliances.
Illegal dumping continues to be a problem, and I really can't speak to why, because we have tried to facilitate the public best we can. We have placed at the front entrance of the site 8 bins, 8 20, 30, and 30 cubic yard bins for persons who are bringing a small amount of trash to be able to just dump. It's free of charge. Even bigger trucks, it's free of charge, but they would have to go up on the landfill. But we still have persons who persist in not utilizing the services and who are basically using track roads and a lot of BC access roads to dump waste. We've had a number of complaints from West Ridge. We have had some complaints from the access road at the back of Dignity Gardens, and now that's a horrific thing to see, because it's a lot of garbage, a lot of cars, and it runs the entire span of that road.
Over in Sir Lyndon Pinling Estates, there were heaps of trash bags and garbage bins brimming with trash outside a number of homes.
It's a private company will just come to you just to take out certain people's stuff. I watch it a couple of times. Because I was wondering, like, okay, why are garbage so full and why the garbage so empty? Garbage supposed to move like every 3-4 days. They're supposed to come around and move garbage. And the dogs also taking the garbage and they turn it all to the yard. So every morning you get up, you have work to do. I don't think it's fair to us. Sometimes when I come home from work, all I do is just put my bag down and back in the yard to pick up garbage.
Director of the Department of Environmental Health Services, Melanie McKenzie, says they've received a number of calls.
At present, we're experiencing a backup in some portions of East Street, but the contractors have already been notified, and we'll be out there this afternoon and tomorrow, so we should be back on schedule. Now, in the rainy months, we often have backups because, you know, the way we collect garbage or store garbage is not the most appropriate method, and so, of course, the bins get heavy. People can't collect during the rain, and so you always have this backup. It should not last long.
McKinsey says the department plans to send out more trucks to rectify the problem by Thursday. Reporting for our news, I'm April Sands.
Thanks, April. Still to come on our news, why the BPSU president isn't seeking re-election. Stay with us.
No one does summer like we do. It's just a way of life. Light it up. We're free. Come close to me. Come feel the heat. Light it up. We're free. Come close to me. Together we light it up.
Our time is now. We own summer. We are alive.
It's summertime again, and Commonwealth Bank wants to know, are you set? Get set for all your summer expenses with a personal loan from Commonwealth Bank. The cash you need for summer travel, summer excitement, summer fun. Get fast approval and great service, plus your choice of MasterCards. You could even win weekly cash prizes and a $5,000 grand prize. So get cash and get set at Commonwealth Bank. Visit us for your summer loan.
Looking to restore your tiles, concrete, and marble floors? Having a hard time cleaning your building, parking lot, and sidewalks? Or maybe you simply want to get rid of gum and those nasty greasy stains and exterior blemishes? Call J&N Improvement today. We provide a variety of services to a wide array of professionals, including corporate business offices, medical offices, restaurants, schools, universities, and all locations that need professional and reliable cleaning services. Give us a call today. J&N Improvement, your property doctors.
Heading into another boring summer? Let Fidelity Bank help to save your summer by entering to win a luxury summer vacation. That's right, Fidelity is flying you and a friend to Las Vegas for an all-expense-paid luxury 5-day, 4-night vacation. Fidelity is also giving away weekly prizes, including a weekend stay at Baha Mar, a $500 shopping spree, John Bull gift certificates, day trips for 2, dinner passes, and much, much more. Fidelity, we're good for you.
What do I do to go to the gym without going to the gym? This is funny. So I'm working at home and I'm ready to go to the gym, but I see my daughter Jessica in the living room and she's like, Mom, what are we gonna do today? I didn't go to the gym, but I got my routine in with her at home.
And if you don't have time to cook,
I don't give it second thought. I go to KFC.
On Tuesdays, get 9 delicious pieces of chicken for just $12. KFC, made for moms who know how to solve everything, even though it seems it can't be done.
The man in the boat scuttling round Bahama Lago. The man in the boat and the crowd is sipping sound. The Bohemian beer, good right over here. If you bow to the Bohemian, raise your sound.
Available at Jimmy's Liquor Store or your favorite restaurant or liquor stores throughout the Bahamas.
You're watching our news. Welcome back. After serving as Bahamas Public Service Union president for 15 years, John Pinder will be stepping aside. Pinder says after careful consideration, he thinks it would not be in his best interest to seek re-election during the union's election next month.
After 15 years of being the president, and I only have 21 active years in the public service, I have applied to the former government to bridge those years, make them pensionable, but I have not gotten any response, and so
Nominations for the election are scheduled for later this week. Pinder says he is satisfied with what he has accomplished.
I looked at the persons that are running. If the membership elects the right persons to continue on the mandate of the organization, I think the organization is headed in the right direction. The several persons who are qualified to work with a new president to continue to move the organization in the right direction.
When our news comes back from the break, a new documentary explores one of the region's deadliest hurricanes. Stay with us.